How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Got plenty of sun today.
Yeah, a little bit. Looks like it.
Oh yeah.
How'd you get your skin to match your shirt like that?
Well, I don't put on sunscreen. It's bad for you. So.
It's not great hormonal for you. I agree with you. Okay. So 3 years into this PNL thing.
2 is the end of our second season.
Going into year 3.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Is this where you saw it 2 years in?
Well, everyone realizes the idea is really, really good. They kind of are in the same thought process we are as club coaches, because I think the club coaches kind of see a lot of things very similarly, or they deal with the same problems. So I think that's great. Execution is like, we're all club coaches. We weren't tournament event directors. So that's been kind of a leap for us. So I know we haven't maybe done it great, but we're definitely learning and getting better. But as far as like the ideas that we started with, and wanting to execute on those, I think we're doing a good job. We just got to keep getting better at the event process.
That's fine. Can you really kind of expound on like, what was the principle that you started out with?
Well, there's kind of a whole bunch of them, and not all of them tie exactly together, but one would be like, all the club coaches really hate the all-star duels, because it's like, why would you call kids from 7 different states to be on your team? It's like, you don't really coach those kids. The best case for the athlete is that he's coached by the person he works with every single day, right? So the league is founded on the premise that you can't switch teams. There's no pickups. So if an athlete is wrestling for your club, they wrestle for your club all year. And then as far as the club owner is concerned, I always found it so dumb that, from day one, we said we would never do that, because it's like, if I have someone at 190 that's paying to show up in my club for me to coach them, I can't say you're not good enough, I'm going to get someone else. It's like, no, I'm going to coach you. Yeah. I'm going to coach you because you're here, you work hard, and I don't care if you're not good, I'm going to help make you better, right? So that would be like, that would be a real fundamental premise. None of us like the really early competition, so our youngest competition is 5th grade. There's nothing younger than that. Most tournaments go way younger than that. In the fall, it's high school only, right? And like this tournament, high school only. That would be a really big one. If for a league, we have like principles of how you're supposed to treat the athletes and the referees. And so there's only been one fine so far, but if you don't treat the athletes and referees right, you're going to get fined. And that's great, because that is something we need to really work towards more in the future. So there's kind of a whole bunch, and they don't necessarily tie together. It's just like, we see this and we see this. Those are pillars of what we want to do and something that we think we can do better. Another big one would be, for some of our better kids who are ranked number 1, 2, or 3 in the country, if they go to Super 32, their first, say, 3 or 4 matches are going to be really easy. And then maybe the semis and finals will be tough, right? And then for the opposite end, our kids who aren't very good are probably going to go 0-2, and that's not a great experience either, right? So if you look at a bunch of regionals, it's like, pair up the similarly skilled kids and then let them wrestle, so you have an A pool, a B pool, a C pool, because then they're getting 4 or 5 matches on kids who are on their similar skill level, and that's really ideal. And then even in our national tournaments, you don't have the possibility to go 0-2, right? And that's something we all hated as, okay, we take our club to a tournament.
Spending a ton of money.
Yeah, and 30% of them are going to go 0-2 or something, right? Just by definition. So everyone's going to get 4 matches, right? So the 0-2 kids go in a bracket of 0-2 kids, and the 1-2s get another match against another 1-2 kids. So everyone's getting 4 matches minimum. But then our regional scrambles, it's either 4, 5, or 6. Those are kind of the principles that we really all agreed upon, and it's going really well. And one of the really nice things is there is a lot of respect between all the coaches, so we kind of all treat each other well also, so that's great.
Well, you say respect, but it's also collaboration, right? Like,
respect, yeah, both.
Right? Like tomorrow, a bunch of these kids are sticking around and going to learn.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're mad at me. We're not sticking around. We stuck around for all the other ones. Yeah. No, it's awesome. We did the camp in Lincoln in the fall with the regional. 2 years ago, and there was the youth one at the Youth Nationals in Arizona. So yeah, it's awesome. It's a lot of fun, and we aren't able to stick around tomorrow, but we are generally really in favor of that.
Yeah, it's a positive thing.
Yeah, and I know the West Coast teams are working together. I think they're doing one in Vegas coming up kind of soon, maybe. Yes.
Mm-hmm. How do you see, like, I know the answer to this, but I want to hear you say it.
Sure.
How do you see this thing in 5 years?
Well, if you want like really, really big picture, and one of the things that I don't want to exclude people, because I think wrestling's for everyone, and just because you don't go to one of these clubs. But then the other thing is, like, I think we can also help other clubs run their clubs better. Like, here's the principles we're founded on, here's why we're growing, here's why kids like us, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And so if every kid is getting a better experience because their club is more well ran, then there's gonna be more kids wrestling, right? Why are there more kids in Wisconsin now than there were 10 years ago? Because AWA has a bunch of locations with really good coaches who run a really smooth operation. And therefore that has led to more kids wrestling. And so if you have a bunch of good clubs all across the country who are doing things the right way, more kids are gonna wrestle.
Give me three, and we're running out of time here.
Yeah.
The match is about to start.
Yeah.
Give me three things that, in your estimation, looking around the country, a lot of club coaches or clubs in general are doing the wrong way.
Well, I mean, we already talked about one, which is the all-star thing. Like, you know, if I'm going to a tournament and you wrestle for my club at 175, but I don't think you're good enough, I'll go get something else, someone else. That's bullshit. Yeah. Like, no, that kid goes to your club, pick him up, right? Like, help him up and encourage him and get him better. That's your job. He's paying to be in your club. So that's like, that would be like number one. Number two would be, you know, and I think a lot of these clubs will burn out, but too good too early. Too good too early. We don't give a damn how good listen, if we did an 8th grade nationals, AWA would be in 42nd place. Like, we wouldn't be good. We're just not good. A lot of times we're not even the best 8th grade team in the state, but it's like, it's a long play for us, and we realize our kids aren't gonna be good in 8th grade, so that would be another big one. And that one's tough because knucklehead parents don't understand wrestling. They see the 10-year-olds at the state champ, and they say, I want my kid to be like that kid, right? But they can't see the long-term process to age 18, so luckily, you know, we have a lot of parents that trust us, and now because our system's working so well, it's really, really easy. So, you know, more coaches are looking at the long play. How do I make this kid's wrestling experience great so he sticks around for the whole time and he peaks at 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, right, later on in life? That would be a really, really big one. And I think the other one would just be coaches that generally treat kids well. Even at the college level, there's some of these people, but you know, if you're doing what I want, I treat you well. If you're not, or you're not losing, I treat you like shit. And you know, that's kind of like fundamentally outlined in our bylaws. Like, you know, if you're treating kids or referees poorly, you're gonna get fined. Unfortunately, there's quite a few of those people still in wrestling, and hopefully we can help them find their way out.
Are they getting to be fewer and further between?
I think so. I think the answer is yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
It's probably a good thing. Yeah.
And what do you attribute it to? Because it's not just PNL's bylaws.
Yeah. No, of course not. It's something I talk about all the time, right? So I think it's an awareness of like this behavior. This behavior was accepted as fine to do for a very long period of time, and you know, and in all sports too. Probably not just wrestling, I would assume. And the longer we stick around, I think the more we realize that behavior is not good. It's not good to treat people like that as human beings, but it's also not good for their competitive skill level, right? They get better when you treat them well because they want to be there. They're more incentivized to be there. They're more engaged when they are there because they actually like it. So there's just kind of a lot of things that run along there. So I think coaches that treat people really well, it's gonna, you know, something that's gonna happen more.
Thank
All
you.
right.